Are you concerned that Trump might be elected again shortly?
I think it's very likely. And if it happens, it is likely to be the kind of like the death blow to what remains of the global order. And he says it openly. Now, again, it should be clear that many of these politicians, they present a false dichotomy, a false binary vision of the world, as if you have to choose between patriotism and globalism, between being loyal to your nation and being loyal to some kind of, global government or whatever.
Well, as we all know, Uncle Trump was elected, and we got some news. Excuse me. And that news is, you guys remember that Klaus Schwab guy? Yep. He's resigned. Klaus Schwab resigns as World Economic Forum chairman. Let's read a little bit about this, because this is some quite interesting stuff. But I have something to say about it, and I'll get to that later on in the video. The World Economic Forum announced on Tuesday that it has launched an investigation into its founder, Klaus Schwab, following a whistleblower letter alleging misconduct by the former chairman. The announcement came a day after the 87-year-old Schwab said he was resigning as chairman, effective immediately, without stating a reason. Okay, the Wall Street Journal, which first reported the probe, said an anonymous letter sent last week to the World Economic Forum board raised concerns about its governance and workplace culture, including allegations that the Schwab family mixed their personal affairs with the forum's resources without proper oversight. The WEF takes these allegations seriously. It emphasizes that they may remain unproven and will await the outcome of the investigation to comment further. The forum said in an emailed statement to Reuters it did not provide details on the allegations. A spokesman for the Schwab family denied all the allegations in the whistleblower complaint. The Wall Street Journal reported the spokesman also told the journal that Klaus Schwab intends to file a lawsuit against whoever is behind the anonymous letter and anybody who spreads these mistruths. Reuters could not immediately reach the Schwab family for comment. So, my thing about this is, first off, I don't really care that much, right? Personally, allegedly, according to those reports, he mixed some finances. Do I believe it? No, I don't. And I'll tell you why. The World Economic Forum has lost a lot of trust, right? And Klaus Schwab even talked about it in a video clip, right? There's a video online. He's talking about how to gain back the trust of the people, right? And to me, people that will openly say that they want to shut us up, that they want to, matter of fact, you guys remember, where's the video? I had it pulled up. You guys remember this video? You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. You guys remember that? Whatever you want, you'll rent. And the U.S. won't be the world's leading superpower. You guys remember all this? Eat the bugs. Eat the bugs, right? They obviously deleted that video, but obviously the internet lives on forever, okay? You can't delete it off the internet. Somebody has saved it. So people who were advocating for you'll own nothing and you'll be happy and you're going to eat the bugs, but then also people that were advocating for getting rid of freedom of speech, like in this speech right here.
This week we launched an initiative alongside companies and nonprofits to help improve research and understanding of how a person's online experiences are curated by automated processes. This will also be important in understanding more about mis- and disinformation online, a challenge that we must, as leaders, address. As leaders, we're rightly concerned that even the most light touch approaches to disinformation could be misinterpreted as being hostile to the values of free speech that we value so highly. But while I cannot tell you today what the answer is to this challenge, I can say with complete certainty that we cannot ignore it. To do so poses an equal threat to the norms we all value. After all, how do you successfully end a war if people are led to believe the reason for its existence is not only legal but noble? How do you tackle climate change if people do not believe it exists? How do you ensure the human rights of others are upheld when they are subjected to hateful and dangerous rhetoric and ideology? The weapons may be different, but the goals of those who perpetuate them is often the same: to cause chaos and reduce the ability of others to defend themselves.
Funny coming from her. Reduce the ability of people to defend themselves. Yeah. So, I mean, and this is the thing. They always masquerade taking away our rights with keeping us safe, right? Misinformation, disinformation. How can we tackle climate change when people don't believe it? Well, simple. It's very simple. You prove to us that it's real with real legitimate science, with real legitimate facts, and you earn our trust back. You know, the trust that you lost because you blatantly lied to us for years. And not just you. I mean, all of the global leaders, right? And I put that in air quotations because who the fuck are these people? Excuse my language, but that's just how I feel. She wasn't the only person talking about basically getting rid of freedom of speech or not having freedom of speech. This was a recurring theme.
On the question of the dealing of Elon Musk, I had a lot of things to comment in the past because he was discussing a lot about Europe. And just to repeat what I already said, we have the freedom of speech in Europe and in Germany. Everyone can say what he wants, even if he is a billionaire.
Wait for it.
And what we do not accept is if this is supporting extreme right positions. And
oh, so you can have freedom of speech as long as you say what we agree with, what we approve. If it's right-wing extremism, whatever that means, then you're not allowed to say it. Like, so basically, whatever we deem right-wing extremism, you're not allowed to say. And you think they're the only ones that talked about getting rid of freedom of speech?
We are finding ourselves in a place where we have increasing polarization everywhere, and everything feels binary when it doesn't need to be. So I think we're going to have to think about a recalibration of a whole range of human rights that are playing out online, you know, from freedom of speech to the freedom to, you know, to be free from online violence, or the right of data protection to the right to child dignity.
Online violence. I love how they have now labeled words violence. Jeez Louise, if that's the case, then what have these far leftists been doing to some of us conservatives? Is that murder or something? It has to be, because they've actually assaulted us, put hands and feet on us, but if we say a few words, that's violence. Okay. Yeah, so I don't believe for a second these same people who have been trying to get rid of freedom of speech, trying their hardest to get rid of it, but then also have people like Bill Gates saying stuff like this.
You leave behind a legacy of having transformed the world into I would say, into information society. Now, if you look forward and at your next career step, career may be not the right word here, but at your next life phase, what would you like to see as your legacy in 10, 15 years?
Of the new work?
Of the new work, yeah. Of your new function.
Well, I set very ambitious goals because I'm quite optimistic. If you look at, say, the 20 diseases that our global health program goes after, I'd hope that within 15 years, over half of those, we could have had a very dramatic impact. You know, huge change in the mortality rates in developing countries, which then has this effect of reducing population growth. That's this big benefit that then makes everything like education and nutrition a lot easier. So I have very high expectations there.
I hope many
reducing population. That was an interesting thing to throw in there. I don't know how you get to that conclusion. But anyway, I don't believe for a second people who speak like that, right, are all of a sudden these noble folks and, because Klaus Schwab mixed his finances with the organization that he started. Now we're going to investigate him. Like, nah, I'm just me personally, I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it personally. I'm just not. Y'all can let me know if y'all feel the same way, or if you're actually buying this and maybe you think that this is them being genuine and turning the page, a new leaf, and these guys are like really trying to be good for the world. I don't buy it at all. But also, the thing about it is the person who's taking his place is this guy right here. Yep. Your eyes do not deceive you. No sirree, Bob. Peter Brabeck. I don't even know how to say that. Goodness gracious. Former CEO of Nestle, who famously stated in 2017, humans have no right to access free water. Yeah, that's the guy who is replacing Klaus Schwab.
Hello, I'm Peter Brabeck, the chairman of Nestle. There are apparently some misconceptions about my ideas on water. Let me make it clear from the beginning. I have always supported the human right to water. Everyone should have enough clean, safe water to meet their fundamental daily needs. About 50 to 100 liters per day. But not to fill a pool or wash a car. There is a difference. We must transform the way we think about water. By 2025, 1.8 billion people will be living in regions without enough water. Water scarcity is the greatest challenge we face today. And we need to start recognizing water as a precious resource.
Yeah, so they're talking about trying to control the water source, which listen, I think that very well could possibly be their next move. Control the water. Control the water.
In our nation and globally, and did we solve that? Like, did we actually manage to vaccinate everyone in the world? No. So highlighting water as a global commons and what it means to work together and see it both out of that kind of global commons perspective, but also the self-interest perspective, because it does have that parallel. It's not only important, but it's also important because we haven't managed to solve those problems, which had similar attributes. And water is something that people understand. You know, climate change is a bit abstract. Some people understand it really well. Some understand it a bit. Some just don't understand it. Water, every kid knows how important it is to have water. When you're playing football and you're thirsty, you need water. So there's also something about really getting citizen engagement around this and really, in some ways, experimenting with this notion of the common good. Can we actually deliver this time in ways that we have failed miserably other times? And hopefully we won't keep failing on the other things. But
can they deliver this time on the water issue in ways that they have failed previously? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Is water going to become the new climate change? I don't know. We shall see. What do y'all think, man? Let me know. But, you know, this stuff doesn't get me excited. What I am excited about is this report. 52 plus million in USAID funds to the WEF were canceled, and Klaus Schwab formally steps down as per Reuters. So we were about to send $52 million to these folks. $52 million. Yeah, that's what our previous government was doing. Sending millions of dollars to the World Economic Forum. And had it not been for Uncle Trump and Elon Musk, we would have sent another $52 million to these folks. Crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. But hey, what do y'all think, man? What do y'all think? I think this is the same old, same old. I think this is in part a tactic to try to garner, you know, some public trust back in the WEF so they can regain their mantle, right? Their footing in trying to control the global population. That's just my humble opinion. I don't see people who, in my humble opinion, probably felt like they were pretty darn close to being able to control a global population. I don't see those people then just all of a sudden, oh, yeah, no, it's fine, everything's all good, it's all peachy. We're going to prosecute our former leader, though, because he mixed his finances with, the organizations, and now we're the good guys. Just don't worry about us, guys. We're all fine and dandy over here. Like, nah, I just don't buy it personally. I'm not. I mean, maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist. Y'all let me know how y'all feeling, but I'm not buying it. These people are snakes, in my humble opinion, and once you're a snake, you will always be a snake. I don't care how many times you shed your skin, you are still a snake. You're still a snake. You just shedded some skin. Matter of fact, you a bigger snake now. So, like, I don't know. This is a nothing burger to WEF and Klaus Schwab and the crew and everybody that, participates in that are all just snakes, and I'm not believing a single thing that's coming out of this organization or following anything or capitulating to anything that they have to say or tell us to do. But like I said, I'm just a guy that talks on the internet from time to time. So what do I know? Y'all let me know your opinions, though. Peace and love. I'm out.